All right, so you wanted us to dive into AI image generation and art history. And honestly, I get it. This whole thing with the AI photo of Da Vinci and Mona Lisa, it's blown up online, right? I mean, seriously, everywhere you look, there they are, Da Vinci, Mona Lisa, looking like they posed for some kind of awkward Renaissance selfie. And of course, the internet's eating it up. But here's the thing I find so interesting. It's not just the tech itself. It's how this image plays on our obsession with the Mona Lisa, even though it's obviously like totally fake.
Right.
People are calling it an early photo as a joke, which, I mean, come on, cameras weren't exactly a thing back then.
Exactly.
But it is kind of funny.
It is. And what's really interesting to me is that even though it's clearly AI generated, I mean, Creative Block even called it out, pointing to the, let's just say, creative rendering of the hands, people are mostly amused, not outraged.
So true. Like, nobody's actually fooled. It's almost like this AI image, even though it's fake, taps into this desire we have to, like, imagine a world where we could see Da Vinci hanging out with his most famous subject.
Exactly. And the fact that people are calling Mona Lisa's expression in this photo her resting Mona Lisa face, like that meme, it shows how much this painting still captures our imagination.
It's true. But it really makes you think, what is it about the actual Mona Lisa that makes it such perfect AI material? I mean, there are a ton of other famous paintings out there.
Right. And that's what makes this whole thing with the AI photo so interesting. It's not just some random internet joke. The Mona Lisa's fame goes beyond just a pretty face. I mean, yeah, she's definitely got that going on.
Definitely.
But what really makes it special, what makes it stand out, is Da Vinci's incredible painting technique.
Okay, so what makes the Mona Lisa so groundbreaking, technically speaking?
Well, modern technology has actually helped us uncover some of those secrets. You know that Medium article you sent about the use of plumbonacrit?
Oh, right. The pigment analysis.
Exactly. Researchers used X-rays and found that Da Vinci used this rare lead-based pigment in the Mona Lisa. And get this, plumbonacrit would made the oil paint dry faster and allowed Da Vinci to apply it in thicker layers.
So basically like 16th century fast-drying paint.
Kind of. And the article made this really interesting comparison to modern sports cars. You know how they have that super smooth, almost shiny finish?
Yeah.
Plumbonacrit allowed for a similar effect, creating a depth and shine in the paint that was revolutionary back then.
Wow. So Da Vinci was basically like a 16th century paint tech innovator.
Pretty much.
But beyond that, how did this impact the actual painting?
It let Da Vinci achieve a level of detail and realism that you just couldn't get with the usual pigments. The way he blended colors, created subtle shadows, and light plumbonacrit was key in creating that classic Mona Lisa look.
It's incredible to think that all these years later, we're still discovering new things about this painting.
It really is. It's like uncovering new layers of a masterpiece.
Exactly.
And the plumbonacrit story doesn't end with Da Vinci. That same article you mentioned said that other master painters, even Rembrandt, were so impressed by what this pigment could do that they started using the technique in their own work.
So the Mona Lisa wasn't just groundbreaking on its own. It influenced some of the biggest names in art history.
Yeah.
That's quite a legacy.
I know. It's fascinating how a seemingly insignificant detail, like what pigment you choose, can have such a huge impact on art for centuries to come.
It really makes you think, though, if an image like this AI-generated photo is already causing this much buzz, what happens when these things get even more realistic?
It's a good question. And as AI image generation keeps getting better, we could be looking at a future where it's almost impossible to tell the difference between a real historical artifact and a digital fake.
Right, like that Creative Block article mentioned, they even joked about needing faked photo watermarks on everything.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the concern underneath is totally valid.
Oh, absolutely. And it goes way beyond just images of historical figures. Imagine AI making believable artifacts of historical events, documents, anything. It really makes you wonder about how we understand and even define truth in a world where just seeing something doesn't mean it's real.
It's so true. And it's interesting because this isn't even a new debate. It feels very connected to what's going on right now with AI art in general.
Totally.
Where do we draw the line between being creative and basically rewriting history?
Right. And how do we make sure that our excitement for new tech doesn't end up making us forget about things like critical thinking and historical accuracy? These are big questions we'll be dealing with for a while, and this whole Mona Lisa thing has really put a spotlight on them.
It definitely has. We started with what seemed like a silly meme and ended up talking about art, technology, and the nature of truth.
All thanks to an AI-generated selfie.
Exactly. It just goes to show you never know where these deep dives will take us. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening. And if you have any thoughts on this or want to explore these ideas further, let us know. We love hearing from you.